Hello, everyone. Welcome back to her channel. She knows it's been a little while since she posted a video, and she's gonna basically make an explanation of that right now, even though it's 2 in the morning. Um, Part of that is because she made this awesome video explaining how she had been having this really depressive time, had been sleeping all day, and had this really great day and was hoping to make more videos, and then just she poofed. Well, part of that was because of her bipolar. And just to give you guys some trigger warnings ahead of time, this video is going to be talking about suicidal ideations, mental illness, and going to a mental hospital. So there's your trigger warnings. And this video is going to be really honest, really honest. So what happened was, and for those of you who are also following, knowing that Daddy has been going through cancer, Daddy's fine. Nothing's happened to Daddy. He's good. So with that out of the way, this girl had a really good day, and she got home, and it was like the bottom fell out. She started feeling worthless and useless and a burden and just awful, just completely awful. And part of that was because in the mail she had received some paperwork from the Social Security Disability Administration, basically wanting her to refill out two forms, one of which was a work history form, and another one which is basically saying what you can do in your daily life to determine if you are disabled or not. Now, this girl doesn't know if you've ever gone through the process of having to try to get disability, but it's very, very hard. It's hard enough when you have a physical disability, like say you have cancer or you're missing a limb or you have late stage cancer or you're missing several inches of spine. Um, those um, those are all instances she knows people who've applied for disability and got denied the first time. It's a lot harder if you have a mental disability, especially if you're younger. She doesn't know what the arbitrary age of people being younger or considered young is, but apparently this girl was considered young to be applying for disability. In a nutshell, it took her 4 years to get her disability. 4 years of fighting and lawyers and paperwork. And if you've ever tried to fill out disability paperwork while you're feeling depressed, imagine that the pen that you're picking up weighs 100 pounds and you are drunk and you are trying to answer serious questions. That's what it's like. So that put her into a very bad downward spiral. She also was, feeling bad because her daddy was in a completely different city and there was nothing she could do to help for his cancer. And we didn't know if the radiation treatments were helping or not, or the chemo was helping or not. She just knew her daddy wasn't feeling well and he was getting sicker and sicker and sicker. So what she did was she grabbed a bottle of sleeping pills and did some math. And she's not going to tell you what the sleeping pills were, and she's not going to tell you how much it was. But basically, she figured out that the amount of sleeping pills she had was 2 times the amount able to kill her. She would have been dead if she had taken all of them. Now, Master and she have a rule. The rule is if she starts to feel like she wants to kill herself, she needs to call the suicide hotline, especially if it's late at night. This was about 2 in the morning. Go figure. Because she's not in her right mind when she feels that way. It's like being in this deep, dark pit that there's no way out of, and you just fall and fall and fall and fall and fall. So what she did was she called the suicide. Well, first she started with the chat part of the suicide hotline because she prefers to chat, not talk on the phone. She has phone anxiety, and they stayed on the chat with her for about 2 or 3 hours. Then they realized they couldn't help her, so they said, "Let us give you this phone number. We will send out a mobile." Who will help send out a mobile helpline to help you. What a mobile helpline does is it's trained people, like a trained psychiatrist or a counselor, who comes to your house and helps you through whatever's going on. So because this girl got that number, she called. Well, they didn't have anybody available to come out to the house, but they said they did have the phone number of a local counselor who worked at a local counseling facility that was 5 minutes away from the house. This counselor stayed on the phone with her for 4 hours until the counseling center was open. And they asked, did she have the ability to drive the 5 minutes there so they could assess her themselves? She said yes, she did. She said she didn't want to go to the hospital because she was watching the dogs. And they got in touch with mom, and mom was like, don't worry, we got this. We've got people we can get people to watch the animals for you. You go ahead and go to the hospital. So she did. She went to the mental hospital in Utah. Master had left a spare key behind for her collar and cuffs to come off because you can't wear those in a hospital for some reason. So those got taken off. And this girl was in the hospital for 9 days. Then they sent her home to Louisiana. About 2 weeks later, this girl had another mental breakdown, another depressive mental breakdown. And she was planning on hanging herself. And that was really hard. That was really, really hard. So she went to Master and she told her. And she broke down. She just broke down. Just, Master, your girl doesn't want to live anymore. She can't do this. She can't go through this again. It's too much. It's too much. It's too much. It's overwhelming. So Master called her friend who works at the mental hospital. We'll call that friend Carol. And Carol said, bring her down to the mental hospital. I will get her evaluated in the morning. So Master took off this girl's collar and cuffs, again, because they had been re-put on. And we went down to the mental hospital. And this girl stayed there about a week. We got some meds adjusted. The meds seemed to be doing really well because this girl is feeling better. It has taken about 2 weeks, but it has been working. But she wanted to give you guys an update about what's been going on, because sometimes her videos are going to get very serious, because yes, she is Kajira, and sometimes her videos will most likely focus on what it's like to be Korean, what's it like to be a Kajira, what does her day-to-day life look like. But she's also a Kajira with bipolar. And part of her life is living as a Kajira with bipolar disorder. So sometimes you'll get videos like this. Sometimes there will be spaces where she doesn't post a video for a little while, and that's either due to she hit a depressive point or she's back in the hospital. It's one of the two. But she does like to keep you guys updated. Now, Master did say that since this girl has been doing very well, and it doesn't seem like she has to go back to the hospital, that she will be getting her collar and cuffs back very, very soon. So she definitely looks forward to that. So she will see you guys in her next video, and she hopes you've all been doing well. Good night, y'all.